there, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shelby and today I'm going to be doing some romance recommendations. I have some Nanny romance recommendations for you, and usually I give 5 recommendations, but today I have 6. I love the single parent and nanny trope, and so it is something that I do look for in books, and I enjoyed all of the ones that I have here. As always, I will link all of them down below, and let's get right into it. The first one is kind of an oldie but a goodie. I read it a couple of years ago and I've seen a lot of people read it since, and that is Irresistible by Melanie Harlow, and this is the first book in the Cloverleaf Farm series, and it's a series about 5 different sisters, and this one focuses on the youngest sister named Franny. So the heroine's name is Franny, the hero's name is Mac, and I believe Mac might have also been in the military in the past. I can't quite remember, but he is a single dad to like 2 or 3 little girls. He works for Cloverleaf Farms, and so does Franny. She's always been sheltered growing up because she has a heart condition, and Mac is quite a bit older than her. I think the age gap is like 11 years or something. He's in desperate need of a nanny, and Franny offers to be the nanny to his daughters, and it's a forbidden romance between them, not only because she works for him, but because he does like the finances or something for Cloverleaf Farms, so it makes it twice as forbidden. And I really liked this one. It was steamy, it was heartfelt, and overall I just really like this Cloverleaf Farms series. Then we have Unexpected by Jenna Hartley, and I see this series all over Bookstagram all the time, and I finally picked up the first book, which is a single mom and Manny romance. So the nanny is a man, and this is about Preston and Alexis. Preston is a male college student and he is a Manny, but the family that he normally nannies for, they no longer need one, so he needs a new job fast because he needs to pay for school. And Alexis is a single mom. She's really career driven. Her daughter's supposed to go with her ex-husband for the summer, but he is a famous rock star and ends up bailing. So her plans change, and the nanny she normally uses is out of the country on vacation, thinking that the daughter would be with the dad. So she really needs a nanny so she can work, and she ends up hiring Preston, which she's hesitant about because she's really attracted to him. They end up starting up this secret relationship. He's happy to shout from the rooftops that they're dating, but Alexis isn't. She doesn't want people to think poorly of her because she's quite a bit older than Preston. This isn't quite closed door romance. It does explicitly talk about foreplay, but then when you get to the actual act of sex, it is closed door. So if that's something that would bother you, I do want to preface that here. But aside from that, I really did enjoy this. It's a rather short book, so I think it actually worked that there wasn't a lot of open door sex scenes. And I liked all the side characters, so I'm really looking forward to reading the rest of the series. Then we have Park Avenue Player by Vi Keeland and Penelope Ward. This is about Hollis and Elodie, who have a fender bender, and they get into an argument because they ran into each other, and they part ways, never expecting to see each other again. But as it turns out, Elodie has a job interview, and the employer she's interviewing with is Hollis. He's looking for a nanny for his niece because he took custody of her when his brother went to prison, and he is in desperate need of a nanny because he is really into his career, and he ends up hiring Elodie. And it's definitely enemies to lovers. There is a lot of chemistry, a lot of steam, and this one I remember making me blush a little bit. It is really, really good, and it's very emotional as well. There were some twists I did not see coming. And Elodie is a sassy heroine. I really liked them together. This is one of my favorites by this author duo. Then we have A Little Too Late by Stacey Hart. I believe this one is now called Love Hannah or Dear Hannah, so it has a different cover and a different title, but when I read it, it was called A Little Too Late. And this is about Hannah and Charlie, and Hannah is an au pair. I believe she's from the Netherlands, and Charlie is a single father. He has a couple of children, and Hannah is in need of a new job because the au pair position she had a really bad experience with the father, and so she needs a new job to be able to stay in the United States, otherwise she'll be sent back to the Netherlands. And she gets hired by Charlie. She's very hesitant because she had such a bad experience with her previous employer. She's very nervous to work for a man and not like a couple, but he ends up winning her over. They have a very sweet romance, and she's really into baking Dutch bakery treats, and so if you really like cooking and baking in your romance, I think you'd really like this one. Overall, it was just really sweet, and it's been a while since I read it, but I always have really good memories of reading this one. Then we have Fresh Meat by Jasmine Miller. Our 2 main characters are Jace and Millie, and this is a sports romance, so if you're looking for a nanny employer sports romance, I would recommend this one. It is a swimming sports romance, so that's kind of different. And Jace is a pro swimmer, and he doesn't expect one day to be told that he has a 3-year-old son. He had a one-night stand with a woman, and she never expected to include him in the child's life, but she unexpectedly dies and leaves the child to him. And so overnight he becomes a dad to a toddler that he had no idea about. So he needs a nanny because he's very busy with swimming and practices and things like that. Millie does nanny, but her biggest dream is to work on a child's television show, and so she has big hopes to do that. But to make ends meet, she takes on this nanny job. and her and Jace couldn't be more different. She's very quirky, she's kind of out there, and he's kind of buttoned up and not like Millie at all. So it's kind of the grumpy sunshine a little bit, and they have this secret forbidden romance. And I liked this one a lot. I really liked Jasmine Miller's writing, and this one I remember getting me a little bit emotional too. So if you're looking for a sports romance option for this trope, I definitely recommend this one. Then the last one I have is Chasing Him by Kennedy Fox, and this is a part of the Bishop Brothers series. Our two main characters are Mila and John, and this is a small town cowboy ranch romance as well. So if you like small town romances, I think you'd like this one. Mila is fresh out of college. She has an education degree and she's trying to get a teaching position, but none of the positions have really gotten back to her because I think it's like the middle of the school year. And she has a best friend she's had a secret crush on for like ever. And she discovers that he has a girlfriend and he got her pregnant and he's going to get married. And it really wounds her heart because she's had this secret crush on him and she doesn't think she can stomach being around it. So she decides to take a trip to Texas and hang out with her grandparents and stay there for a little while. And she ends up getting a job as a nanny because John, who is our hero, he discovers he has a little baby. The little baby is dropped off on his doorstep at only like a couple months old because a short flingy had ended up getting pregnant and she didn't plan on having the baby in his life, but she dies unexpectedly. I think like her will executor ends up leaving the baby there. So he opens his door one day, discovers he has a baby, and he discovers a letter with the baby, and now he's an insta dad. And he runs an inn on his family's property, so he's very busy. So his mom ends up hiring this nanny, Mila, for him. There's an age gap between them. I think they're like 10 years apart. And it is a forbidden romance between the two of them. He has a lot of open wounds in regard to that romance he had with the mother of his child. He has a lot of guilt because she did pass away and he was not there for her. And Mila is still struggling with the issue of her best friend who is having a baby with someone else. And I really liked this one. I love how present the whole family is in this story. So if you like series about different brothers and things like that, I think you would really like this one too. So those are 6 nanny romances I have to recommend for you guys. I'd love to hear what your favorite romance is that has this trope. As always, I will link all of these down below and I will see you guys on my next one. Bye.